Financial institutions in India have traditionally focused on selling products, but there is a space beyond it where common man struggles. The objective was simple, that what are the areas people are struggling with.
But I want to support this broader dream of creating an unbiased, fact-driven personal finance platform.
अमय पीएफ ही क्यों? अमय, ये काम आप कब से कर रहे हो और अभी तक आपने कितने क्लेम्स सक्सेसफुली रोल किए अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे, कितने आपने लोगों के पैसे सक्सेसफुली रिकवर करा पाए अभी तक?
So
नील, एक तो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन सभी का जो है कि आपने मीडिया क्यों छोड़ा?
So Kanan,
Hi everyone, I am Kanan, a chartered accountant by qualification. Today I have Amey, the founder of Finright, and Neil, the former personal finance editor at Mint. Millions of customers face problems while claiming their provident fund money. There was no formal player until now, but today we have the founder of Finright who is helping solve this problem with us. So hi Amey, first of all, can you please tell us a bit about your story and how did Finright happen?
Hey, thank you, Kanan. Thank you so much for doing this. It's a great opportunity for us to talk about us. Like, many people have questions about why Provident Fund, how did we really start? So thank you for doing this. The way we started, right, it started probably with the most simplest idea of building business. Sometimes when I look back, I find it odd. That simple idea was people in India, masses, face a lot of struggles. They have a lot of queries around their personal finance, right? And where are they going in order to solve for these queries? It was as simple as that. And having worked with couple of leading banks, and then my last stint was with the fintech cred, what my observation was that financial institutions in India have traditionally focused on selling products, but there is a space beyond it where common man struggles, right? Say for example, there are things like asset transmission, right? Where somebody is trying to transfer the assets of their deceased family member, or maybe a provident fund, right? These are not the areas that straight away come under the scope of product distribution or product selling. That was an observation. How we started with it, simply we created a website, we created a platform where we said that, hey, consider us as a neutral, unbiased personal finance guide, and let us know what your queries were. Like, we knew that people struggle through our observation, and we started talking to a lot of people. We also conducted a few personal finance awareness workshops in corporate. The objective was simple, that what are the areas people are struggling with, or they are really struggling with or not. So after doing this, what we realize is there are two types of broad buckets where people struggle or people have queries around. One is, let's call it queries which are related to product distribution or product selling. Say for example, which bank to take personal loan from, or which mutual fund to buy, right? Let's call it as product related queries. That is pretty much solved for, right? We have evolved to an extent now, all these things are on the click of a button. But the other area, which is not directly related to product, right? The other areas, maybe it is to do with some processes or some decision making, that is not really solved for in a very formal way. But we wanted to understand what that really is. So after talking to people for about almost 6-8 months, we identified few areas or the pain points that people are struggling with, and the thesis or the intuition was that we want to start building for those areas that people are struggling with, and those areas should be more like rather, what we realize that those areas are a little complicated to solve for. There may not be any end-to-end digital solution. There are sensitive areas, there is some sort of helplessness. So that was an interesting thesis for us. And then after identifying few problem statements, we zeroed in on some problem statements and thought that these are the great hooks to start your business with. Also, what I believe is, when you solve someone's problem, right, that is also a great way to create trust. You basically front load the trust in that transaction, right? So I think that was the simple idea. Just to summarize, we wanted to start with a problem first approach rather than a product first approach. In product first approach, there is a lot of competition, it's saturated, but what can we build in this area? That was a simple idea and thesis. Yeah.
So अमेय पीएफ ही क्यों, मतलब और भी तो काफ़ी सारी सर्विसेज थी, तो आपने ये डिस्कवर कैसे किया कि पीएफ में एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है लोगों के लिए सॉल्व करने के लिए?
सी मोर देन अपॉर्चुनिटीज़, हाउ आई थॉट इज़ कि इनिशियली ऐसा एरिया देखते हैं जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा लोगों को ज़रूरत है और मार्केट में फॉर्मल प्लेयर्स है नहीं. तो अगर पीएफ की बात करें तो इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव हाई स्टेक प्रॉब्लम. पीपल आर काउंटिंग ऑन दैट मनी. Say retiree trying to withdraw the provident fund because of his or her livelihood, or maybe some NRI sitting in some abroad country and not trying to not able to withdraw his money, is sort of helpless. Or there are cases like death claim, right, where your family is struggling to reclaim the money of the deceased member. So there's a lot of helplessness. The sensitivity is high. Plus, I felt it is a great use case to build with purpose, right? So that's on the side of how I thought of this use case. From the business side, right, literally no formal player exists in this space. Strangely, like fintech largely have solved for, say, UPI, loans, insurance, mutual fund, but this despite having such a high stake money involvement thing, right? Nobody exists in this space. So we thought it's a good first mover advantage also to build for this space. There are some inefficiencies from the government side, and it's a complex product basically because it's a social security. So there are certain rules, complications, there are certain human validation from government side. So it's an also opportunity to look at from the tech first or a more sophisticated way. The other thing is that the last thing is provident fund is, first of all, it's a widespread use case, right? There are about, just to give you some stats, 32 crore EPFO members across India, about 7.5 crore annual claims, right, at EPFO, out of which broadly 25 to 30% get rejected, right? That quantum last year was about 1.6 crore claims. Right, there are different locations where your PF officers are manually validated. So it's a complex system. It's a retirement money. The design also, it's in such a way that they have to ensure that money is going in right hands, right? So it's not a very easy from the common man perspective, especially in cases where you have a longer service history, you have worked across employers and things like that. And this use case also may opens opportunity into other adjacencies, like say retiree is trying to withdraw the corpus, then he will or she will try to reinvest the money, right? Or maybe somebody who is buying a home and trying to withdraw money for that. So there is a home purchase in the scope of things. So maybe it's a good, interesting use case that may open some opportunities in other areas, and there is a trust creation because you solved a very meaningful problem. You help them unlock their own money. So these are some of the reasons why we thought that provident fund is a great first wedge to start business with.
So अमय, ये काम आप कब से कर रहे हो और अभी तक आपने कितने क्लेम्स सक्सेसफुली रोल किए अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे, कितने आपने लोगों के पैसे सक्सेसफुली रिकवर करा पाए अभी तक?
So see, we started our proper customer service operations in December of 23, right? And from there till now, we would have helped more than 15,000 customers unlock their money, and the amount in picture would be more than about 400 crores now. And mostly we are sort of getting a customer which is a little high value, right? All this, the LinkedIn, we are getting customers from, or word of mouth, or NRIs and things like that. And pretty much we are the market leader in this space now. And also the fact that nobody existed and we went deep in it. We have presence across few cities, right? If we require to visit PF offices, we can also do that. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and in a very dominant position when it comes to Provident Fund. There has been enough of support from the ecosystem, from well-wishers, from some angel investors, and also the media. They have been very kind to us. We have been in most of the English media, trying to co-create some education and awareness around Provident Fund. So it's been a good journey.
Great, great. So what's next? What's your plan to scale the operations from here on?
Uh, okay, so now that we are pretty much have stabilized our provident fund operations, and now it's time to, I'll go back to where I started, right? We want to become a platform where people seek assistance on their critical personal finance matters, pain points. Uh, Now we want to expand into some other use cases or pain points of personal finance, and also as a with the provident fund use case, people have been trusting us, our clients, and coming back to us seeking help on other financial matters, right? It could be about something around insurance or investment, but more of sensitive nature, or where there's friction, right? So now we want to expand into it. So now the idea is, how do we build a broader personal finance support ecosystem or assistance ecosystem that is clearly positioned as a support or a help channel than the one who wants to just sell products to you, right? And what we believe is that you want to help people on these matters, and if you want to do it at scale, right, then you can do it through guidance or education via content, right? I think that's a great platform where you can empower people to navigate across these challenges. So that's the plan, that we are now building our personal finance content or education platform, and via which we will educate people on some of the critical matters of personal finance. That's the plan.
So Amay, actually content जो है, जो educational content है, तो बहुत बड़े brands भी काफ़ी सारा बना रहे हैं. There is a lot of content available on the internet. What is going to be your defining moat in this space, in this education space?
Interesting question. So I agree. Content तो बहुत है, like all influencers or expert advisors, everybody is basically distributing content, and it's also a game that requires a lot of money. So the idea was, how do we find our moat, right? We want to create content that clearly differentiates itself in the form of, it is unbiased, right? It does not sell product. Also, it is little nuance. It talks about niche things about personal finance. And always I was on lookout for a person who sort of demonstrates sort of these things and has done content. And what I believe is, when you compare all these content creators, right, I think you will find some of the other issues in every content, right? Because ultimately they are the business. What I believe is the journalist, right, they have a solid DNA of thinking from customer first approach, being to be unbiased, free from product distribution, promotions, and all these things. So I have been thinking that what if any personal finance sort of a journalist who has done this and very deep in this space, can there be any association with that sort of a person? And I've been following few on social media. So I think in my pursuit of talking to a lot of journalists, right, and I had my list, like who is that who demonstrates or maybe embodies trust, has a solid subject matter expertise, has been respected widely on personal finance, and literally you won't believe that you won't come up with many options. Kanan, you will agree. Can you come with a lot of options? No, I also couldn't think of a lot of options, and the one person that I could think of that is actually Neil, right? So Neil Borate, who headed personal finance previously, I love his content. I've been his follower, and also spoke to many people. They also unanimously agreed that he has built that brand, and the kind of content he writes stands out completely. And I'm happy that this sort of thought materialized, and Neil has joined us in this mission to build this personal finance education platform or a content platform that has the narrative of assistance, right, and sort of has the independence and going to be unbiased. So I'm glad that he's sitting next to me and part of this mission. So yeah, so basically the Neil will be heading this platform, and with bunch of guys that he has worked previously, and it's going to be a super exciting journey. Let's see how things shape up.
नील, एक तो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन सभी का जो है कि आपने मीडिया क्यों छोड़ा?
सो कनन, मेरा मानना है कि कंटेंट या मीडिया और प्रोडक्ट, इन दोनों की एक शादी होती है हमेशा।
राइट।
और अगर आप सही प्रोडक्ट से शादी नहीं करोगे तो जो प्रोडक्ट आएगा उससे शादी करनी पड़ती है, कंपलसरी। And often the kind of products that are promoted, that are advertised, are products that are inherently against my value system. जैसे F&O का कुछ लोग प्रमोट करते हैं, या कोई बहुत ही एक्सपेंसिव PMS है. I did not want to be in a position where I have to promote that sort of product just so that I can survive or earn money. And when I came across Amey and I came across the work that they are doing at Finright, I felt for the first time that here's a product that is inherently helpful. It does not hurt the people of this country. And that's what I want to be associated with. That's what I want to support, this broader dream of creating an unbiased, fact-driven personal finance platform.
ग्रेट, बट ऐसे बहुत सारे BFSI प्लेटफॉर्म्स आपके पास आई एम श्योर पहले भी आए होंगे, यू नो, ऑफरिंग जॉब्स और पार्टनरशिप्स और वट एवर ऑफ सॉर्ट्स, जिसमें आई एम श्योर पे भी ज़्यादा रहा होगा और बहुत बड़े ब्रांड्स होंगे, एस्टैब्लिश ब्रांड्स होंगे जो सही प्रोडक्ट्स भी बनाते हैं. देन वाई स्पेसिफिकली फिनराइट एंड नॉट एनी अदर ब्रांड फॉर दैट मैटर?
मेरा ये तो कहना नहीं है कि बाकी सब कंपनीज कोई रॉन्ग प्रोडक्ट्स बना रहे हैं या उसमें कोई बुराई है, बट फिनराइट का जो DNA है, जो थॉट प्रोसेस है, वो मेरे थॉट प्रोसेस से मिलता है, एंड ये मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था.
So as the head of content at Finright, what exactly are you going to do and how are you planning to scale the content operations especially?
So Kanan, although Finright's current business is Provident Fund, we are not going to only focus on Provident Fund. We are going to focus on the entire spectrum of personal finance, whether it's mutual funds, whether it's financial planning, whether it's insurance, whether it's retirement, the entire gamut. And we're going to do it with more experimentation, with videos. In my earlier roles, it was more print or text focused. We are going to adopt more innovative forms of content. And most importantly of all, we are in the age of AI. And we are going to deeply integrate AI into our personal finance content. A lot of answers can be given through AI efficiently, deeply, and that's going to be part of this new personal finance platform.
Great, Neil. So, Amey, do you want to add anything on your content endeavors?
So the pursuit of content is basically to drive our mission of providing assistance or support to people across their personal finance challenges and pain points. And that's how we are going to drive our content, the education, right? One thing I would like to add basically about Neil is, see, I think we have been talking to a lot of stakeholders, including investors, and there have been a lot of, people have been praising us for picking up Provident Fund, and mixed views also around it. But what I believe is journalists, right, who is the true representative of people, who has been dealing with people day in and day out. He also deals with regulators and financial ecosystem. A journalist making a move to join our organization, right, I think it is the greatest validation that we could have, like much more than our investor check also. And I'm super happy and excited that there is the Neil as a head of our content. We are onto something really big. We are here to build a very serious financial services company that works with a purpose. So yeah, super excited for that.
So I wish the both of you the very best at your new mission of helping solve the problem of Provident Fund rejections. And any closing notes that you guys have?
It's going to be interesting because the way we started out the company, it's certainly unique, right? Without thinking of problem first approach. It will have its own challenges, and we have been having, right? But what we have built is solid execution rigor as part of solving a Provident Fund, and we hope to extend that across few more use cases and drive it absolutely with customer DNA. And I hope that we will be able to serve millions of people and will be able to create a different positioning in the world of fintech and financial services.
I just want to add one thing, Kanan. Basically, in my 6.5 years of journalism, the most impactful story that I did was about helping a person who had cancer, who was denied his Provident Fund money, helping him get back that money. Our story went viral, and it is only after that that he was able to get back money, which would not have been denied to him in the first place. He was dying of cancer. And I realized at that point that I can't help through media, I can't help lakhs of people like him. It needs involvement with a product that is able to help them. So really, this is the start of a movement. It's more than a business. It is, at the end of the day, I hope a shift, a movement, and I really hope that like-minded individuals join us, whether it's associate with us by joining the company or as customers, or just come up with your suggestions and help us fructify this, make this successful.
It was a great conversation, Amey and Neil, and I wish the both of you the very best.
Thank you, Kanan.
Thanks, Kanan.